Oh, hello everyone. This is Vicky Hacking. I'm so glad to be with you tonight because I've got a very exciting guest speaker. I have my friend and Lisa Washington, and we are going to just really learn from her. She's also a professional business coach. So that makes it double special, because she knows what she's doing. And I just want all of you to know that I'm here in Bryce Canyon on my way home from Arizona home to Utah home. So it's nice to be with you and it's nice to have everyone here. And we've got a really good turnout. So thank you to my co-hosts. And Lisa, would you tell us a little bit about yourself? I have known Lisa for probably 30 years. I knew her when she was a baby consultant, like I guess a baby manager. But anyways, she's always been a good friend and I've admired her so much. And she is going to be our next ambassador. So Jackie told us that, remember, on the call. And so,
Mhm.
but Lisa, could you just give us a little bit? I want a little bit of your history before you begin talking to us about why you believe in this new compensation program and why you believe in the future of Jafra. So if you could do that, I'm going to make full screen speaker. Looks like that's it. Oh, I've got Tucky on. So Lisa, start talking and see if it does it. Well, we got to do the recording.
Oh, you did, Vicky. I
I
thought you
did.
said,
Okay.
yeah, you already
Okay.
did the recording. I'm talking. I don't know what
Yep,
it
we're
looks like
good.
on I'm good on your end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right, all right. So, a little bit about myself. Last month was this May, March 29th. I had my 30th year anniversary here in Jafra. And wow, I didn't think I would make it this long, but over those 30 years, I have had an amazing run. Met some amazing people. Vicky was one of the first people I met when I came in within the first year. And she kind of adopted me. She kind of adopted me. And then I grew up and got grown like kids do, and moved out on my own. But we have always stayed in touch. During that 30 years, though, I've seen so many compensation plans coming. I have seen every owner
You have,
since
Lisa, you have.
every single owner. When I came, Jan Day was still here, and I got to interact with her and deal with her. And I think Frank had just passed away, and Jan was still here. And so I was here for the transition to Gillette, for the transition to CDR, Clayton DeBillier Rice, and then Fork, and all of them. So I've seen all of the owners. I've seen all of the presidents from the time when Jan sold the company, and I've seen all the comp plans. And yes, I have seen all of the websites from the very first time Jafra. As a matter of fact, for Jafra to even come on to the World Wide Web, they had to make me take mine down because I was out there with the name Jafra Cosmetics. And so I've seen it just about all. And I will say this, there has not been good, bad, or ugly. There has not been a compensation plan that you cannot take and make it do what you want it to do. And it's not dependent on the presidents, it's not dependent on the owner, it's just dependent on your attitude, what your plans and your work ethics. That's what I've seen. And because of that, I have gotten close to the top position 5 times, but it seems like every time I get close, a new owner, a new comp plan, a new president, something would come up. So I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I was really disappointed. Sometimes I even got bitter a couple of times, but I never considered quitting. And I'm glad I didn't because this is the one that I have been waiting for. This is the closest. There's no such thing as a perfect plan, but this is the closest that I have seen. This is the thing that if I had to put it all down, all my wants, all my needs, this came closest. And so the things that we don't have, the things that I don't like, I'm willing to run with it and trust that the company is going to do the adjustment that are needed to make it better because they are in the business of making money. Trust me. We have a board now. We have a board of directors. We have people who meet every month to look at all the numbers and see what it's doing. At no time in Jafra's history have we have so much oversight and so much eyeballs on the bottom line. And these people invested their money into this company because they thought they were going to get more out. So nobody invests in a company thinking that I'm going to put all my money in this company and then I'm going to wreck it. Nobody does that. So for me, I love where we are. Am I frustrated? Yes. Over the little few things that I want to see right now. My biggest frustration is about the lack of communication or the very slow communication. So here's the thing. Thank you, Vicky, for inviting me. But Vicky asked me, let me say how this came about. I called Vicky to say, you're putting some videos out there, and I deal with YouTube every week, and they will shut your account down for these kinds of videos. And so from there, I thought I was going to just get off the phone after
You're
I
right.
but Vicky would not let me off the phone. And so we ended up having a very long conversation, and she told me how she felt. I told her how I felt. And by the time we got off, she said that it had made a difference. Two
For
days
me,
later,
Lisa, it like I was kind of down. I wasn't understanding the program and I was feeling very depressed about it. And then you called and told me that I had put some personal information on YouTube, Excel, I mean, Jafra, one of Jafra's website files, which I
mhm,
know better. So thank you for doing that. But after we finished talking, Lisa, you lifted my spirits. You said, Vicki, just what you're saying right now. You went to the meetings, you found out, and you are meeting with them and knowing what they're doing. And I just loved what you had to say about giving us hope that this is a good program and these are good people that are running the company and, that kind of thing. I loved that you gave me hope. And I hadn't had that. I was sinking a little bit and feeling a little depressed because I didn't understand that book. And also, Lisa, we know that they've got a lot of bumps in the road. I mean, website orders are going to the wrong people and things like that. But we got to remember that last time that we had this, what did they do? They had the same kind of problems, right?
they did.
So I'm just saying we got to work through these problems, don't we? And that's why I would love you to give everybody the hope. So keep talking.
So when Vicky asked me 2 days later if I would be a guest speaker, she said to give everybody a pep talk. When I saw that, when somebody sent me the screenshot of what you put out there the other day saying I was going to go over the comp plan, I was like, who said that?
Oh, I didn't
But
mean I was gonna, yeah.
it was supposed to be a pep talk. But you know what? Here's the deal. I'm going to give a disclaimer, and then we can talk comp plans if you ladies want. My disclaimer is that these are my thoughts, my feelings, and my understanding of what we have here. Um, you might have different thoughts, different feelings. You might even see some of the things differently. I have asked the company several questions, pertinent questions that I haven't gotten answers for yet. And I'm frustrated that I haven't gotten these answers. But it's a process for me to take it to, one person and they take it to a second person and they take it to a third person. No, but the person that actually designed the comp plan, Leo, whichever one you want to call him, I don't have access to this person. So the frustration is in the process of working through the system. That being said, I will, if you want to ask questions, I will answer them as honestly as I can. If you want to state your thoughts and I will listen. If you want to voice your fears, I will listen to those. And if I have any input that I think will be valuable, I will provide it. I won't be offended by anybody and what you say. Just try to be respectful, okay? Don't shoot the messenger,
That's right.
okay?
And we don't want to get this into a negative conversation. I'm wondering, Lisa, if we take questions on the chat and then we address them that way, so we have a little bit more control. So I'd like everybody to write your question. What do you think, Lisa? Write their question in the chat and we monitor it and tell you what the question is.
This is your call. Either way, if you want, for the sake of time, if they wanted to ask it, if they wanted to ask it verbally, if it's something that I think is negative, I'll say I would prefer not to answer that at
Okay.
this time. I'm not going to get into that with anybody. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not here for the negativity. But if chat questions is how you usually do it, then do chat questions. But if you usually allow the ladies to verbalize their questions, then I'm cool with that
I'm going
too.
to open it up and let people do. My first question is, my concern was that 1% for the district directors is that's not for managers, the $1, that was my concern. That when you have the $1 increase has to be met by all district directors and ambassadors. And I thought they weren't going to pay you a commission check. So my concern was, oh my gosh, they'll, how do I have control over whether I have an increase of at least $1 on 1 month? And then your answer was,
My answer was you absolutely will get a paycheck. You will get the paycheck at the base commission. And if you do the $1 more than the same month the previous year, then you will get the paycheck at the high commission. So that seemed to alleviate some of your concerns, Vicky. I will also say that it's not like you're going to get there and it's going to sneak up on you and knock you over the head and you don't have a way to plan for your paycheck. There is going to be tracking all along the way saying, you know what, you are this far from, this close to meeting the number or this close or you need this much more. They're gonna have it right there in our back office under the reports the section. And so if you're going to get the base commission, you will know it in advance. And then if you're close, you can decide if you want to push to get that $1 over. And if you're close to the high commission, you will know it. If you're over, you will know it.
so
And then
Lisa, you also said to me that this program is really good for the consultant coming in. Why is this program so good for the consultant coming in?
this is the sweetest program I've ever seen Jafra have for the consultants coming in for many reasons. And I'm not going to get into all of them. First of all, if you see what the other direct sales companies out there are paying in commission, you would be appalled. Because I did the end of last year, I went out and did the research and I looked up the 10. The company that Hudith went to, they max out at 40%. Max out. Arbonne up to 35%. Avon averaged 20 to 25%. And on their downline leaders, they make 5%. 5%. Okay. Monet, 30%. Rodans and Fields up to 30%. And many of these have gone to affiliates, meaning that they can only make that 20 to 30% off of their personal sales. They cannot build a downline. Okay. And the people who do allow you to build a downline, the percentage they're paying is abysmally low. So for the consultants coming in to be getting, I mean, they're gonna not make less than 40%. Other companies are maxing out at 25 to 30%, some on 40%. And we're starting consultants off at on their worst month, they're gonna get 40.
I can't
Coming in,
believe it.
they get 45. Okay. And then in 1 month, they can move from that 45 to that 50 by just doing 400. That's $100 a week. Okay. So what I know is Jafra we have been spoiled and we didn't know it. The company was letting us have 50% of our personal sales, even if we just place one order every 2 years. We were getting 50% off. And yet there are people out there in other companies that are hustling like crazy to get 20 and 30%. And so it's okay. Nobody can afford to stay in business giving anybody who want it half off. They're not going to make any profit. And this is a business. So for the consultants coming in, this commission plan is beating everything out there. And if you don't believe me, go out there and do the research. Just go out to Google, go out to YouTube, and you will see that it is absolutely the truth. On top of that, to move into the first leg of leadership, the team leader, nobody is letting you do that for that little bitty amount that Jafra is giving us with you and 5 people doing 200. On top of that, one of the things that we have had, oh, such a crazy time with in the past is promoting leaders and they lose it. And then we promote leaders and they lose it. And Jeff have a good sale and they go back and they don't care. By the time they've gone back and forth several times, they don't care. They just care about the sale. Okay, that's it. And so this 5 with 200 is going to say, if you want to sit there, sit there. Sweet. You don't have to move. But if you want more, just this one little thing, you can get more. Just this one little thing, and you can get more. But you don't even have to stop there. And the system is so simple. Everything builds on top of everything. And everything starts with the $200 order. Never in Jafra's history have we had a program where everything builds on top of everything. There's always a little slack. Just like in the old leader program, it's you plus four, and if you do 300, you still not at 24. If you even did you plus four at 400, you still not at the 2,400. Everything that we have had has had a gap in it. This is the first program that we have had with no gap, not one single one. And I'm excited about it. I love it. Is it perfect? No, but it was so good that when I first saw it, I was in Dallas going, and I was making noises in the meeting, and I was like, and I was like, I'm sorry, y'all. And then when I left, and then I got a dose of like cold water on me. I said, it's too good to be true. There's got to be something else. I gotta wait. I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall. And Sharon, what did I kept saying? I'm worried about what we don't know. I just kept
What
saying,
we
I'm
don't
worried about
know.
what they didn't say because this is too good. Okay. And yes, I did learn some things that I didn't like, but it's not a game changer and it's not going to take all the good off of the table. So again, that's just me talking. If you have questions,
Miss
ask.
Lisa,
If you have concerns, ask.
we get to work with the new program, and I call it a game. We got to learn to play the game a different way. And so when you say something and you go, oh my gosh, how am I going to get five people to do the whatever? Well, there's a way around that. I'm not going to say right now what it is because this is being recorded, but trust me, there is a way for you to have control over five people placing a $200 order. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely.
And so when we get stuck on some of these things, like, me getting stuck on that one thing that you called me for, that I talked to you about, but I'm just saying there is a way, it's a game, and we've got to learn how to play the game a different way. But
Mm-hmm.
you point out all these companies do not pay, and you can't, if you really don't making 40%, it's not worth you selling, Jafra. Now, with all the problems with the website, we had problems with the website before, Lisa, and there was lots of big problems. We just got to let them work through these problems and trust that it's going to all work out. Yeah, there are glitches. Yeah, there are things that aren't working right, but the end goal, the goal that they want it to be at, is marvelous. To be able to place all your orders and have your clients go online, to be able to call up and order for a consultant and say, this is what I think your order should be, and send that to them. This is beyond our expectations. It's like a dream come true, right? Yeah, there's glitches, but you know what? When we get those glitches done and fixed, because they can't all be fixed, then this is going to be a dream program. It really is going to be a dream program.
Yeah. And the only way out is through. The only way out is through. And you know what? For me, I tell myself, you have three choices, Lisa. You can stay and complain. You can stay and fight, to help them correct what you see that needs to be corrected, but work through it. So you can stay and complain, you can stay and grow, or you can leave. I'm not prepared to leave because where am I going to go away to? We see what the other companies out there are paying. Okay. We see, and even when we don't forget about the commission, the community is not the same as this Jaffa Sisterhood. The corporate office uh don't make themselves accessible to anybody. And the list goes on and on and on. And like I said, we're a little bit spoiled here. We haven't had it so good for so long, and we've had our demands catered to for a long time. But again, this is not a owner. This is a board. They're not looking at feelings. They're leaving us free to do the feelings while they watch the bottom line. And you know what? They're here to make money. And let me just say this. I've heard all the complaints. Oh, they took away all the bonuses. Yes, they did, but it wasn't that many people making those bonuses in the
There's
first place.
only a few.
One or two, and like what they were and how they were getting it were by working that system, just like you were saying, Vicky.
They
Yeah,
were playing games.
they were playing the system. Okay, they were playing the system, and even with the little gaps that I see, there's a way to play the system around it. But you
I
got to
think there is.
stop worrying about all that other stuff out there and do this. And if you do, you can build faster, stronger than any other program ever. I don't care who has it. It's the most simplest thing right there. The whole thing is based on 200 to selling 200 a month or ordering 200 a month. I ain't seen anything out there like it. I couldn't have even thought of it. So what I said to Linda was, this Leo, dude is a genius. He took what we had and he layered what he wanted on top of it. Are there some things that I would change? Definitely, and I have been fighting viciously. Vicky's been at a couple of meetings where I fight viciously. I fight dirty too. Just letting you know, I fight viciously to make those things change. But when I walk away, I understand that some things are not going to change. You have to show them. If it don't show up in the bottom line, they are not going to change it. So once I fight the good fight, I'm gonna walk away and keep working and let them find out the hard way
That's right.
that
They've got some
they're
things to find out.
uh-huh.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
the way we show them is by our sales and by the way things that are happening, then they're gonna listen to us. But right now, everything is going very, very well. And I
Mhm.
love that. And I think once we start being able to bring people in this new way, Lisa, with this $200 order every month, and the manager now gets paid for it just having 1,200 a month. She still
Yeah.
gets a commission before she got nothing.
She got nothing.
You got nothing. So that's a raise right there. And you can keep your title. And there are many of you out there that just want the title and want the 50%, and you want the title. And you don't want to be, not lose your title. And you want to be able to go to the conventions. And you want to be able to be part of the sisterhood. Guess what? We just gave you your program.
Yes, you absolutely can do all of that. You absolutely can do all of that. And to get the 50%, it's just so simple, so easy to stay. I mean, come on, the English market is the queen of the VIP club. The English
We are
market.
the queen of the VIP program.
We are the queen of VIP program. And with the VIP program, you can stay at 50% and don't ever have to worry about it. Okay, even if you don't want to grow a team, even if you don't want to grow in the program, you can still keep your 50%. It's just not going to be there for you if you want to place an order once every 2 years or once every year. And that's fair.
And that
That's fair.
is
These
fair because
people are
I
here to
didn't
make
like
money.
the fact that people could place an order for what we wanted. That program that gave them the incentive to place an order every month. And now everybody, whether they're a leader or not, they place that order. All of you that are leaders, that's going to help you so much because people want that 50%. They're willing to do it.
Mhm. And the ones who don't, we don't have to harass them. Some companies make their leaders, especially, harass the people in their downline to get orders. We don't do that. The only other company out there that's offering a 50% is a company that I shall not name their color, but they make their leaders turn into vicious stalkers, pressure appliers, and all kind of other things just to get their paycheck and get their commission. And Jafra doesn't make us do that. They don't make us go out and with the whip and try to coerce people into ordering products they don't need. No, we're not going to end up at $200 a month. We're not going to end up with a garage full of products that we didn't sell. It's not going to be piled on our bed and in a closet somewhere, hiding it from our husbands and things. We can sell 200 a month, even if you were a third grader.
Well,
Okay, so it's like I think we have these blinders on and we remember the good old days, but the good old days was not moving us. We were steadily going backwards for years. The good old days was just good in our heads. I'm not saying it wasn't some good back there, but the good old days had some bad stuff in it too, some not so great things. And the good new days have way less concerns.
Well, and I
And
think they balanced out. Let's face it, there are a few women that are making really good money in Jafra, I being one of them. But I think this program is going to balance it out in the fact that many of us, let's face it, we can't be paid on infinity downline now. So that's going to be
you
money that
can.
Well, you
They
can.
didn't take that. Yes,
Oh,
you
they
can.
did take that away. Okay, you're right. It's
No,
true.
they
Okay.
just changed the configuration. We absolutely can get paid to infinity.
All right. See how much I know, you guys? Well, anyway,
Yeah.
it
And
they
if
made it a little bit harder. Okay.
it's a
It's harder to do it,
mm,
but still, I think it'll balance out the income of everyone so that
everyone.
there are more people making better money. That's what I see. I see that they have balanced the incomes like they have balanced the 50% for everyone. It's not just for, so many.
The top little
Yeah, the
1%, the
little,
top
yeah,
little
it's
fraction
not,
of a
that's,
percentage.
and I think that the thing about many of us don't like that they took away the cash bonuses, but there were only a few earning them. And you guys, there are a lot of people out there that want toasters. There are a lot of people that want stuff out there, and Betterware has it. Let's face it, what does Betterware do? They have a warehouse down in Texas, right? Full of stuff. And so why not merge that with our point program, Lisa? It fits well. And many of the consultants coming in, that's going to keep, if they have points, they're going to want to stay to use their points. We all want to do that. In fact, somebody was saying the other day, you won't remember, many of you won't remember, but in my day, we used to get stamps, green stamps for China. And you just made sure you got your green stamps. I think Wileen mentioned it the
I
other day.
remember.
It's true. And I promise you, there are going to be consultants that are going to want to keep their Jafra account open and place their orders to get their points to get gifts. They are.
I absolutely agree. And
And
let
that's
me
how
just
I got
say,
my China, and so did Wileen.
I'm giving mine away now. I've been giving it away to daughter-in-laws and things because I don't need it at this point in my life. Okay, the novelty of having pretty China and crystal is gone.
I know.
Uh, I will say that this plan has done a really good job of making this company equitable at all levels. From the minute you come through the door, it's equitable. Everybody can earn awards. It's not just for the elite few at the top. And almost every single company out there who who has been rewarding the ones at the top, they are changing their commission plan, but they're changing it so that those people have no choice but to walk away. I mean, Arbonne I mean, how many times have they changed their commission plan over the last few years? It's crazy. And if you haven't been paying attention, you should just pay attention. All right. And they're going to affiliate and the list just goes on and on. New Skin used to be the biggest thing out there. And now, now it's like if you sell, you get up to 30%. But if you want to build, you can get up to 40% on your personal sales, not on your team sales. So I love the points because nobody was getting the bonuses. Now everybody can get the points.
That's true.
Okay. I love it. And I think that the new people coming in who didn't know about the good old days are gonna look at what we have and compare it to what else is out there, and they're gonna blow their mind. Somebody's gonna come in here and go to an ambassador in like 90 days. Just watch. Just watch.
Lisa, I've got a question here from Carol, and it's a question that's going around. She
Hmm.
said, Carol says, what happens to the sales of consultants who were part of a team leader's team,
Hmm.
and the team leader now is no longer a team leader?
Hmm.
Those consultants do not come back. And that does concern me too, Carol. Or what happens to the consultants of the team leader or supervisor who passes away? So let's say that you have someone, okay, that's like Carol up in Washington. I can't, Carol, and she just passed away. She's not. She's in the home, but she's close to passing away. So what's going to happen to all of her consultants? And I didn't think about that, Carol, when she's also saying, so let's just talk about that. Is Jafra going to take those people back to themselves? Because they do have a corporate account.
Um, I didn't, I have not gotten an answer to that. I did to that question,
Okay.
but
Can I answer? I don't either.
I will offer some insight.
Okay.
the economy is such that there are direct sales, whole direct sales companies that's been in business for 20, 25 years going out of business as we speak almost every month. The tariffs is making people shut down because the money for the ingredients, even if you manufacture in the US, you have to get your ingredients from other places, because we don't have Dead Sea salt in the US. We don't have the exotic flowers that come from the Amazon in the US. So it's like if you manufacture out of the country, you got to pay to bring in the finished material. If you manufacture in the country, then you got to pay to get them raw material in. And a lot of companies are struggling, and a lot of them are just throwing in the towel. The fact that this company decided to give us the opportunity to earn more by doing less in this economy blew me away. We're also one of the few companies that's not woe is me about the tariffs. I'm not saying it's going to always be that way. I'm just saying that currently they're not throwing that on our laps. They're just doing what they can do to hold us together. This everything has gone up, and yet the company is still trying to give us something good to hold on to. That one thing about the if a leader passes away and her downline goes to someone else, I don't have a problem with the company keeping it. They have to make money from somewhere. And if they didn't keep it from there, they're going to come and get it from somewhere else. And I'd rather for them to get it there than to come and get it from me. That's how I feel. I told you I would tell you my thoughts. So, in order for them to stay viable and profitable in this day's economy, this money has to come from somewhere. Either they're going to have to cut our pay, or they're going to have to get it from somewhere. So, for a leader passing away, I don't have a problem with that. And let me just say, as somebody who got my upline leaders, I it's not what you ladies think. If unless y'all know something I don't know, I got my uplines district, and out of 200 and something people for almost 7 months, I reached out every month. I got one person to engage with me because they weren't connected with me. 7 months later, person number two finally deigned to admit that I was there. Okay, and here we are
Now
over a
that's a
year
true
later.
story because you're talking about Lumen Holland that you got some of her consultants and you said so those consultants they could have gone bye-bye anyway. There was nothing there to get, was there? So
Right,
there that's a good point, Lisa. That's a
right.
good story to tell about, yeah, those consultants go, but those consultants are usually inactive anyway. So
Hmm.
and so let's say if you have promote out a manager and that
Hmm.
manager comes back and you don't get those consultants back. I think Carol was also talking about that.
You know what? That
I don't know that
it's
that's true.
I think I've been asking because I know what the company said to me, and then I know what I heard. So the company is going, I'm gonna wait for them to come out and clarify. But I will say this, the way I understood it was that they just sat there waiting on you to get paid on them again. For instance, if you were a DM2 and you get paid two levels deep, right? And one of those managers go away, then if you want to get paid on that leader again, even though she's not a manager, you're still getting your commission. Okay? And she can promote out again and you'll get more. So the way I saw it, we didn't lose them. They just didn't roll into our central brand. Here's what we have been doing. Just like you said, Vicki, we know how to game the system.
We're going
So
to
what
game
we
the
would do
system.
is, okay, let's say I have somebody on my fourth level, a manager on my fourth level, and I'm thinking, I'm not getting paid on her. I'm not going to work with her. But I'll go down there and say, hey, why don't you just let your team get through, the number of strikes, let your team grow, and you'll roll into my central district, my branch again, and then I'm going to promote you out as a direct. Now, this woman just went from possibly, if I was wide enough, I'm going to get 3% on her or 1%. Now she just went from the company from paying me 1% or 3%, she went to getting 11%, 12%, 15, 17%. 17%. The company would if the company left that like it was, we would continue to game the system. We would continue to drag people from 1% up to 17% all day long. So if this company is going to survive, if they're going to make money, they have to, you know what? Some of the things that we do to game the system is just too big of a loss for them. It's just too big. Okay, we can still game it, and we all know how. We've been around here a long time. We all know how. We can still do it, but that right there, they can't make projections. They can't project their quarterly goals or their projections for their profit or anything like that. When you got this big old leader base here that's able to game the system and drag people from 1% up to 17%. So what the company is saying is, no, they're still yours. They're going to sit there. And if you're wide enough to get paid on them, you're still going to get paid on them. And the percentage went up from 1. Okay, you're still going to get paid on them. But what you're not going to be able to do is game the system and drag them up to 17%. But now, if you could drag them up to 22%. Okay, so that's how my brain is seeing it. Whether that's how it is actually is or not remains to be seen. The company is going to clarify it, but I still don't have a problem with that. I just needed them to tell me what the deal was, so I know how to work with it. Because I haven't seen a system that was so good or so bad that we couldn't figure out how to make money and get our goals if we wanted them.
And Lisa, the point is that we could focus on that, and that
Mm-hmm.
could be stinking thinking, the
Mm-hmm.
stinking thinking. And otherwise, we can go ahead and say, okay, I am going to build on the things that are going to make me money. And let's face it, all of you know that the best way to make money is selling those products, either online or whatever. You're going to get a lot of money there. And so, and then if anything ever did happen, you have your client base that's always
Mm-hmm.
going to belong to you. So we just have to think a different way, I think, and not worry about these people coming back to us and where are they going to go or whatever. I just think that that's stinking thinking. We got to think about what is right with this. And you just started this call out with the most phenomenal way uh, way of telling us, you guys, this is something that other companies dream about having, and we have it. So that's why we can go to these other companies and bring them into our company, especially if they're in the cosmetics. So I just, like I say, you just changed my whole attitude, and I hope that all of you are feeling that positiveness too. That if I just think about all the things that are right with this new program and forget about all the little gossip that's going on in the back office, right? We got gossip going on. You know what Jafra's doing? They're doing this. And you know what this program, that's just stinking thinking. And like Zig Ziglar said, it's not going to get you anywhere. It's just going to make you depressed. And I was there on Saturday until you called to tell me that I needed to take that down. And thank you, Lisa, for calling, because you just went into a whole different platform and you just raised my spirits. And I wanted all of the people on the hive that are my sisters in Jafra to hear your voice and to see the vision that you see for Jafra, because that's the same vision that I want to see. So you can get on board with Lisa and with me, and we can work and we can still call this, we can still game the system, okay? Maybe not in the
If
same
you're
way.
game, we can do it. Yeah. I do want to go back and touch on that again. Currently, we even that last part that I talked about, part of that is already here. If you understand the old comp plan, then you know that even that it's not very much of a change. It's not, because our first line was the only one that rolled into us. That's it. That was it. All the other ones, they didn't. They didn't roll up. So again, I think that people who are thinking, oh, we're going to lose something, we're not necessarily and not permanently. Okay, so again, we can find a way around almost anything in here that we don't like, but what we can't find a way around is our attitude. We have to decide that we're going to not focus on all of the imperfections, but focus on the good pieces and then trust that the imperfections are going to get fixed along the way. Because we've seen the company throw something out at us and say, oh, no, that's the way it is, no negotiation. And 3 months later, they'd be right, they'd be right back to giving us what we want. We all remember when they went to 450, okay, $450 in sales, and then they brought that right back down to 400. So they will do what's in the best interest of keeping the company viable and keeping the company making money. And if they make money, if they keep making money, we get to stay here and make money. And and like Vicky said, if you're not here for the money, you get to stay here with your girlfriends, you get to stay here with your travel buddies, you get to stay here
Right.
with your title, all of that. It's the best of everything. It's absolutely the best of everything, in my humble opinion. Okay. So, Vicky, did you have
Okay,
any other questions in the chat?
Lisa, we have about 15 minutes left.
Hmm.
And if you want to, anybody want to, I did it. We've had some really good comments in the chat, but I
Oh,
just thought maybe we would just take a minute to remind everybody, Lisa, remind them all of what we should be focusing on this week with the 50% off for everyone as you understand it, because I think you probably could explain it better than me. What is going on this week that we need to, do we have 50% for all of the active consultants?
we do have 50% on all the active consultants, and unless they cut it off in the last day or so, we had 50% for everybody, whether they were active or not. That was a glitch. They said they were going to fix it, but the last time I looked, it wasn't fixed.
It was
So
okay.
yeah, it wasn't fixed. And so 50% off, and get this, whether they fixed it or not, everybody should be doing at least some order this month, so they'll be at 50% next month. So, and it's always going to be the case. It's always going to be the case that what you do in the current month determines what you get the next month. So, for me, even some activity is better than no activity. Stay in the loop. Some activity is going to keep you on the mailing list. It's going to keep you active. You're going to get your brochure in the mail. It's going to keep you on the communication list. So, yes. And then with $200, you remember, Vicky, remember when I used to do those postcards and it said that here's an example of a $400 order, and we would just mail these postcards, and this
Did
is
that
what you're going to
yes, that was your
every
baby.
month. We used to do it every month. And so, you know what? Go back to that. Show them
Lisa,
what a $200 order can look like, or
right,
a 400.
you could do that $400 order on a sample order. These are the things that I would be placing for and send it to them through the website. And you wouldn't even have to send the postcard. These are my favorite things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they open it up and that's an order all ready to go.
It's ready to go. And you know what that's called? It's called Share a Basket. So even though this website, the little pieces that get on my nerve, but it's so
I
much
know.
good in this website, like Share a Basket, I have been wearing out.
Share
All
that.
of the, all of the consultants who don't know how to navigate through this system, I was like, just tell me what you want. I write it down, or send it to me in a text, or I write it down and I go in and create the basket, and I just hit that little share basket and send it to them. All they got to do is tap it and it loads into their basket on their end.
Oh, we need to be.
Ooh, how much easier could this get?
Oh my gosh, share a basket, you guys. We got to do
Share a
a
card is
whole
what it's
live
called.
on that.
Okay, so you should, if you haven't tried it yet, you can share a cart for your customers. You can share a cart for your consultants. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. Because when we did the postcard, they had to order it the way we did it in a
Yeah,
postcard.
that's right.
But with Share a Cart, they can just tell us what their favorite products are. We can fill that cart and just hit it one click to copies the link and then paste it and send it to them. And they can tap it from their
They can
from
change it, they can do whatever, but they
they
know
can do
what
whatever
we
they want.
think they should be using and the best deals.
Yes, the best deals. So for instance, this month, the best deals is what? That one of the best deals is that Royal Olive Duo. I mean, you only get a $30 oil and a $30 lotion for what? 35? And then if you're a consultant, you're going to pay half. So think about that. Be looking for what the best deal is, and what a way to keep up with your clients now. If you're not savvy with MailChimp and you're not savvy with sending your clients newsletters, you can be a one cart and you can send it to as many clients as you want, saying this is the hot deal for this month. So it's so much that we can do with this website, and it's so much that we can do with this comp plan. But we just got to make the decision that we're going to not focus on. We don't have to pretend it's not there, because there are some things that are just irritating or concerning. But if we make the decision to not focus on that and then focus on all the good that we can get done, we'll be so much busy doing the good that we won't worry about what about the rest of it. We'll be okay to let them, the powers that be, take care of the rest.
That's right. Thank you, Miss Lisa, for a wonderful, motivating evening together on the Hive. We have been buzzing And I just love the honey that we have produced tonight. I, the royal, the royal jelly is alive and well. So I'm going to stop the recording and then we're going to end the call. So just give me a minute. Bye, everyone. Please, you can get this recording on my website, which is Jafra VH in YouTube, or just look for Vicky Hacking on YouTube, and the recording will be there at the very top, the first one. And I'll also post this recording on the WhatsApp, on all the WhatsApp teams. So there we go. We've had a wonderful night with you, Lisa. Thank you for your motivation.